Okay, we're talking with Josie now, and we're going to get her thoughts on everything that's happened. What are your thoughts on the way things have happened since April 22, Josie? Mainly the sacking of the directors, the court action having to stop, and obviously the penalties imposed by the National Rugby League.
Well, taking them one at a time, Jamie, you know, the announcement of the penalties, which was the first, well, the announcement of being over the salary cap was the first shock, and then the penalties was like a stabbing us in the heart. We just could not believe that such cruelty could be meted out to anyone, let alone a club of the distinction of Melbourne Storm. And it took a long time for it to sink in that, hey, this is actually happening, and we're going to be playing for nothing if we're playing. What's going to happen to the club? What's going to happen to the supporters? What do we do? How are we going to go on? So we started off by taking a great interest in the court proceedings and thinking that we had quite a case against the NRL for the unjust penalties that they handed out to us. But of course, the further in to it that we got with the Deloitte's report being changed and the salary cap draft being tripling almost, the things were just going out of control, and it was just like a nightmare. Things were going from bad to worse. The further it went, the worse it got for Melbourne Storm. And the icing on it, and we still had a case against the NRL for unfair penalties, and the only way that could be stopped was to sack the 4 directors who were suing the NRL. And once that happened, there was no case to consider, so we just had to sit back. We now play for nothing and hoping that we can reconstruct and go on next year. But the members haven't taken it lightly, and we're not likely to. We won't lay down, we won't be beaten, we won't take what's dished out to us without a fight. And we've been fighting till the end.
So it'd be fair to say your allegiances through all this and currently are to those 4 directors who basically put their reputations on the line and also their financial status. Do you think when News Limited do eventually decide to leave the club, these 4 independent people would be a great team to lead the club into the future?
Well, I certainly hope that we can get them back at some stage. The sooner News Limited are out of our club and out of the NRL, the better off rugby league will be. Because to me, they seem to be the thorn in the bunch of roses. And John Hardigan, with all his tears and everything, has never contacted anybody representing the members of the Melbourne Storm as if we don't exist, and he has to remember, the NRL has to remember that without supporters and without membership, they haven't got a game. If everyone gives up, they haven't got a game, and they have to be brought to answer to someone. It just can't become the judge and jury and executor at the same time within 20 minutes. And no, they've just treated us so unfairly, and newspapers shouldn't be in these sporting teams, because if anyone has noticed or taken any notice of the News Limited newspapers, have not said one positive word about Melbourne Storm for the last 3 months. Everything, if anything, has been printed, which is very little, has been printed. It's all been negative. There has not been one positive word for our club.
Have you been impressed with the efforts of Fairfax mainly, and also media sites like MadFan for their efforts in getting our cause out and our voice heard?
If it wasn't for Fairfax and MadFan no one would know Melbourne Storm existed. Because like when you look at News Limited, you've got the sports channels, you've got the Rugby League Week, you've got the Sydney, you've got the Brisbane, the Australian, the Herald Sun, every newspaper, it's News Limited. And I actually would not like to be a journalist for News Limited, because the way I see it, you can only have in print what they allow you to.
Slightly off topic now. Last week you had the privilege of meeting obviously the directors and the players, and obviously our wonderful coach and the support staff. How was that? How was that an experience for you?
Well, that was a really great experience. It was a privilege to be invited to be part of a farewell for our 4 wonderful directors who, as you say, put their private lives, their businesses and their heart and soul into the Melbourne Storm. And it was just a privilege that 4 people were asked to represent the players, the members at that function, and we're very blessed to be part of it.
Fantastic, Josie. Well, thanks very much. Just before we go, how long have you been a supporter?
Well, we started coming in 1998, and there hasn't been many times in between that we haven't been here. We've been a long time.
And we're going to stick with our club?
My word, go Storm.
Fantastic. Thanks, Josie.